Hello and welcome back to LearnCloud.live. I am Pratham and I am thrilled to have you here with me today. In our previous video, we have covered how to create custom domain name, how to verify domain in Azure, how to create a new user with custom domain name. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend checking it out before diving into today's topic. You can find the link in the top right corner by clicking on the I button. This video's agenda will be how to add or associate Azure subscription to target tenant. However, there are a couple of basic concepts you need to have an idea of to understand today's topic properly. First, we have to know about what is Azure subscription, what is Azure resources hierarchy and how it works in tree format, what is access policy IAM or identity and access management, then how to access policy work on each stage. So the first thing is, what is Azure subscription? An Azure subscription is a paid account that grants access to Microsoft Azure, a cloud platform offering a variety of services like virtual machines, databases, and AI tools. Subscriber can create, manage, and deploy these resources. There are different subscription types with varying features and pricing models. Users are built based on their resources usage, and management tools help control cost and resources. If you want to know more about subscription types, I will be attaching the official link in the description box for you to check out. What is Azure Resources Hierarchy and how it works in tree format? Azure Resources Hierarchy is structured like this. Management Group, this is the first in the hierarchy. Organize and apply policies across the subscription. Then we have a subscription. Then subscription contains resources and manage cost and access. Then we have a resource group, organize resources for projects or apps. Then we have a resources, actual components like virtual machines, databases, and many more. In the next few slides, we will check out these structure graphically. What is access policy IAM or identity access management? Access policy or identity and access management IAM in Azure is a system that regulates who can access specific resources and what actions they can perform. It utilizes rules to define permissions and assign these rules to users, groups, or applications. This helps maintain security and compliance by ensuring the right level of access for each entity. Shortly, we will check out IAM policy on Azure portal. How access policy work with Azure hierarchy. Let's see graphically. So just imagine this is our Azure Active Directory on Azure portal. The first unit would be tenant, and after the tenant can see that's a root management group. This is a default group which comes with tenant every time, and this is not allowed to delete. Then we have a subscription, which is something organizations admin buy based upon their requirement. Then we have resource groups. Resource groups can be created multiple or single based upon the requirement. If the organization in the multiple locations, then it could be a multiple resource group based upon the locations. Based upon the resource group, the resources can be assigned accordingly. For example, as we have assigned in first resource group, we have a database and virtual machine. Second resource group, we have app services. And the third resource group, we have a virtual network and SQL database. Some organizations needed multiple subscriptions. In such scenarios, the hierarchy will look like this. Based upon subscription, resource group, and resources will be distributed. If organizations have many Azure subscriptions, we may need a way to efficiently manage to access policies and compliance rules. For that, management group provide a way to structure resources based on organizational divisions, projects, or other logical groupings, allowing administrators to efficiently enforce policies and monitor compliance at a different level of hierarchy. This helps streamline resource management access, control, and policy enforcement within the Azure environment. As we have discussed before, default management group always comes with tenant and cannot be deleted. We can add up to 6 management group vertically from top to bottom, and up to 10,000 management group can be created. This is something Microsoft has designed. If you need a detailed information about hierarchy structure, I will add a link into the description box. So far we have seen how Azure Active Directory hierarchy works. Now let's understand how identity and access management or IAM works on each level of resources. Just FYI that our upcoming video will cover the difference between Azure RBAC and Azure ABAC roles in detail. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to get notified when the video is out. Identity and access management is a role assignment condition, which is an additional check that you can optionally add to your role assignment to provide a more fine-grained access control. It's a condition which filters down permissions granted as a part of the role definition and role assignment. After all resources are put in place, the next step would be by planning and figuring out who all in the organization would be the users and the degree of access they need. So Azure RBAC includes over 70 built-in roles. There are 4 fundamental Azure roles. The first 3 apply to all resource types: owner, contributor, reader, user access administrator. Just for understanding purpose, let's look at my subscription. I have service admin role. For my testing account, the reader role is assigned to my other account, Pratham at learncloud.live. On resource group, I have assigned Abhishek's account reader role. If we assign reader's role to particular users in resource group, then user will have access to below resources. Same as you can see the brackets which I have created. The first subscription level, I am Pratham. I have the reader role. I can read till the bottom of the resources. So I have the access to read the resource group, all the roles which has been assigned. Same applies to other resources too. For example, Ajay Verma in the organization is a role contributor, particularly app services resources. This one. And then this person will have the access on app services resource only, not on resource group, not on subscription. Alright, so Ajay Verma will have only app service resource access and will not be able to look or make any changes under the subscription or under the resource group. The limitation is only limiting this particular resources. Similarly, if I have one more role on particularly on virtual machine resource, then Ajay Verma is a contributor again on this one, then we'll have the access to check out virtual machine, assign somebody as a contributor, and they can make changes in the role assignment, but not on the above resources like subscription, resource groups, or any other resources. Now, when we check any resources under IAM policy, we can see all assigned roles and users on resources under role assignment, and also shows upper level users and roles inherit. We'll see this on Azure portal soon. One more thing to note here. In case if you have a big environment, you can use management group as we have already seen in our previous slides. For demo purposes, I have created my Azure hierarchy this way, the one with tenant and default management group. For this demo, I have created management group by the name of MG1 and then added free subscription in it. Then I created resource group within which I have created one resource, which is management identity. Let's see all this under my Azure portal. This is my Azure portal. I have logged in with testing1 at learncloud.live. This one. And let's quickly search for Azure Active Directory. I have already searched previously. Let me click on this one, Azure Active Directory, under recent services. And I can see this is my tenant, learncloud.live, and I have logged in with the same tenant which I have to. So let's quickly jump to the root management group and management group. So let me search for management group. I have already searched previously. Let me search again. Management groups. It is showing under the services. Let me click management groups. Now I can see I have a default tenant root group, and under this MG-1, this is the one I have created. And as we have discussed in previous slide, tenant root group, it is something which always comes with a tenant whenever you create a new tenant with Azure. If you want to create a new management group, then you can click on create and provide the necessary details. For example, if I want to create another management group, I will use the group display name mg-2 or anything, whatever I wanted, and any ID based upon the below details. Once it is created, I can associate my subscriptions which is available in my Azure portal to my existing management groups or the new management groups. So this one I have mg-1. This is the management group I have created. Under this I have associated my subscription. So if we follow the hierarchy, we have a root management group which always comes with tenant, and I have created this management group, and after that the purchase subscription I have associated with management group. Okay, so similarly you can see the management group I have created, and below there this is the subscription which I have added under this mg1. And if I want to see the complete hierarchy, I can just click on this mg-1 and I can see under the subscription which is associated with my tenant. I can see this is the subscription which is associated, free trial version. If I have multiple subscription, it will be listed over here under the management group. And if I want to see the resource group, I can click on resource group under the same tab, management group, and I can see the available resource group which I have right now, testing 1. Similarly, if I want to see under my resource group, do I have any resources, so I can check clicking on testing 1, and I can see these are the resources I have right now. And the test underscore manage underscore identity, this is the one which I have created for the testing purposes. Now let's see how access management works along with the every resource. So let me go back to my previous slide, that is role-based access control or identity access management. So as we have started from management group, we'll show you access control IAM from the management group first, and how it works. Let me show you. So let me quickly search the management groups. Click on mg-1. This is my management group. Now I can see access control IAM option available under my management group, and I can see what are the roles assigned to this particular resource, is also called a resource. So I can see this is the role assigned as a owner role. Testing 1 is the owner, particularly this management group, and you can see this resource, it is assigned as a scope and the role is owner. Okay, and if I want to add any other user, I can add a role assignment to over here, or I can add a co-administrator of this, or we have a custom role as available as well. So if I want to add a role assignment, I can search for the role. For example, if I want to provide somebody a reader role, I can click on reader. I'll click on next. Then I'll provide the person name. So for example, for this one, I'm going to use any particular user. I can choose even a group. So for this example, I'll take the Abhishek and select. I'll click on next. We can review, and it looks fine to me. And review plus assign. So we can see Abhishek has been assigned to this particular management group as a reader. The scope is this resource. Similarly, we can add the co-administrator. As of now, I won't do it, but if I want to add a custom role, I can do that. That can be done by JSON file, or we can add multiple role attributes under this. So I don't want it right now. If you wanted, please check out the Microsoft dedicated articles. Now go back to the management groups. Now we have to see subscription and check access control IAM. So let's quickly search subscription. I can go directly by this by clicking on subscription, but I'll go separately. I'll go subscriptions. I'll click on free trial, and I'll click on access control IAM. I will quickly check how many roles has been assigned and who are they. So role assignments, I can see I have 3 roles assigned to particular my subscription. So if you see from the top, this is the one account which is a owner role, but it is coming from management group, not from particularly on the subscription. It is coming from management group. That's why it's showing inherited. And when we talk about reader role, we have a two persons has been assigned to as a reader, and Abhishek and Pratham, which is me. So Abhishek is assigned on management group. That's why showing inherited as a reader role. On this resource, I have been assigned. This is why showing this resource as a reader role. Let's see quickly the other aspects of the resources. So we have a resource group now. We'll see the resource group. Let me search for resource group. I have already searched previously. Let me click on resource group. Let me click on testing one. This is my resource group. And access control IAM. Let me click on this one. Check the role assignments. We have a owner role, and the account is same testing one, which is coming from management group. That is why it is showing inherited. We have a reader role. We have Abhishek's account. Abhishek is assigned this particular resource group, and you can see this is why it is showing this resource, and the role is reader. And Abhishek again assigned to this particular resource group as a management group inherited. That's why it is coming from management group. And now we can see Pratham is also assigned. It is coming from subscription level. That's why it is showing inherited. Okay, now let's see quickly resource. So in our case, we have a management identity. So let's quickly check the management identity under the resource group. So let me click on overview. This is my resource group, and click on manage identity. Let me click on test management identity. And when we check this particular resource, we have again access control option available. If I click on role assignments, I can see the rules. Similarly, the one which we have seen previously. This is the testing one same account, which is coming from management group. Abhishek's account coming from resource group as inherited. Abhishek account again coming from management group inherited. Ajay Verma is particularly assigned this resource. This is why it's showing this resource. This person is assigned as a reader role, and Pratham is coming from subscription. Okay, this is how the hierarchy system works on access control IAM. So as far as we have seen how the resources has been managed with access control IAM, we can refine how users can utilize the resources with the proper accessibility. So let's quickly jump into the slide and see how things are working. So let me switch back to my previous slide. So we have seen the subscription level, we have access control IAM, and below there till the last resource, this subscription level admin or service owner will have the accessibility to check or make changes each and every resources. But when we talk about this particular VM, Ajay Verma, it will not have the accessibility to make any changes in subscription or resources. This is why I highlighted each and every stage when any person have the accessibility. Hope I am clear. If you need any more suggestion, I can attach some of the Microsoft articles. Please check that out. It will help you to make you understand better. Now let's understand how to add or associate Azure subscription to target tenant. Let's see graphically. Assume we have Azure portal, and in Azure portal we have Azure Active Directory. Under Azure Active Directory we have tenant, which we had created previously, and we have associated subscription, which we have purchased for requirement. And now we have one more tenant which we wanted to transfer the subscription. So this is very easy process which we can do it in our Azure portal soon. But before making this change, we have to understand few things. So let's see graphically. Now as we have a Azure tenant, then we have a root management group, subscription, resource group, and resources. As you can see, we have also access control IAM policies assigned on each resources with the defined administrator roles. You can see on the first on subscription, we have testing one account as service administrator. We have the resource group, Abhishek as a reader role. On resources, for this demo, we have app services and virtual machine. Ajay Verma is the person who has the contributor role. When we have a different tenant along with the root management group, now we wanted to transfer this subscription to another tenant. So what we can do, we just simply move this subscription to another tenant. So this will happen this way. But you can see The IAM access policy or administrator policy has been wiped out. There are more couple of things which we have to make sure before moving the subscription from one tenant to another tenant. So this is the review list, and we have to understand users that have been assigned roles using Azure RBAC will lose their access. Service administrator and co-administrator will lose the access. If you have any key vaults, they'll be inaccessible and you have to fix them after association. If you have any managed identity for resources such as virtual machines or logic apps, you must re-enable or recreate them after the association. If you have a registered Azure Stack, you will have to re-register it after association. Has an owner role assignment for the subscription. For information about how to assign the owner role, see Assign Azure Roles using the Azure portal. Now let's see how to move subscription from one tenant to another tenant. We will log in into the Azure portal and log in with subscription owner or service administrator AAD account. We'll check IAM option from management group, subscription, resource group and resource. So we'll check these all assigned roles to particular resources so we can see the difference before and after. Then we'll see source tenant and target tenant under managed tenant. So we will see which tenant we are going to move the subscription from which tenant. Then from source tenant we will find the subscription and click on the required subscription. Then we'll click on change directory. So in our case we have only one subscription. We'll click on that subscription and change the directory. We'll see this in action soon. Based upon the resources in it, it will take time to move. IAM policy access is removed. So the one which we have discussed in previous slide, once we move the subscription from one tenant to another tenant, the IAM policy access will be removed. So now quickly jump into my Azure portal. So we have already logged into Azure portal. Now what we have to do, we have to go to Azure Active Directory. We have to check the tenant which we have a subscription by clicking on overview, manage tenants. We have a two tenants as of now. One is a LearnCloud, which is our primary domain and default, and we have one more tenant, August 2023. If you want to know how to create a new tenant, please check out my previous video. You will get the details in the description. In my case, this is my source tenant, LearnCloud, and this is my target tenant. So LearnCloud has the subscription and I want to transfer the subscription to August 2023. This is my target tenant. So let's quickly cross check if LearnCloud has the subscription. So first I have to go back to the home, and now I have to check the subscription, or either I can just check the management group, but I'll quickly jump into the subscription. I can see there is a free trial version available and the management group is the parent management group. And if I click on free trial, as you can see under the overview tab, we have the directory is LearnCloud, which means this is the directory, this is the tenant the subscription belongs to. So if I want to change the directory, I will just click on change directory. Before that, we need to understand what are the changes will take effect. So as of now, if you can see, X is IAM control, the role assignments. The role assignments, which is in our case is reader, Abhishek and Pratham, will be wiped out once we change the directory for the subscription. Similarly, it happens with the other resources too. Alright, so I'm going to click on overview. Now I'll click on change directory. Over here, we have to choose the target tenant. This is my target tenant, which is available in my Azure portal. I'll choose this one. I'll check mark on this one. I understand the change directory does not transfer some resources. For example, all Azure role-based access control assignments are deleted. This is what I was referring you previously in the slides. Let me click on change. The directory changed. It will take some time, but depends how much resources I have available. It will be showing blank over here after some time. Let me refresh it. Not gone yet. Let me refresh again. Alright, I have tried to refresh multiple times, but it is taking time to move. However, if I check quickly the management group, under the management group, I can see there is no further drop down to see the subscription, and you can see the total subscription assigned to it. If I click on MG-1, my management group, and I check under the subscription, I don't see any subscription over here. Similarly with the resource group, if I check the resource group, no resource group is here. Now if I want to see my subscription has been moved successfully, I have to switch the directory. I have to click on Azure Active Directory now. Similarly, the previously which we have done, overview, manage tenants, then switch to this directory, the one which we have transferred our subscription. So let me click on switch. Okay, we are on the August 2023. Here on the right tenant, this is the August 2023, and let's see this subscription. Here we have the subscription, the one which we discussed. If we check the IAM policies, role assignments, they're gone. They're completely wiped out, as we discussed previously. This is why we have to make sure when we transfer the subscription to one tenant to another tenant, make sure the access policy will be deleted and some of other details. So I will attach Microsoft link before you move any subscription from one tenant to another tenant. Make sure you follow that. Alright, so we have covered so far these things. We have logged into Azure portal, we have seen subscription, we have checked the IAM policies as well with the management group, subscription and resources, and we have checked the source tenant and target tenant under the managed tenants. We had searched the subscription and click on required subscription, then click on change directory, which we have already done that, and this is what we have covered so far. In the next video we will understand the difference between Azure RBAC and ABAC roles. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more in-depth tutorials on cloud technologies. Just like this one, by subscribing, you will stay up to date with the latest developments in Azure ecosystem. If you have any questions, comments or suggestions for future topics, feel free to drop them into the comment section below. Your feedback is incredibly important to us. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.